So today I want to talk about why Roblox is running so bad on Android devices. For example, you have like some beautiful Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. It has like these very powerful chips like the Qualcomm Snapdragon Gen 3, something like this. Also, Qualcomm, as always says, they announce also every year these new chips and they are always very powerful and all of that stuff. But at the end, when you play Roblox, it's like a very laggy experience, not fluid and sucks actually. And then you watch some old iPhone 11, some random PS5, some MacBook computer, something like this, and you see Roblox is running really fluidly inside those devices compared to your Android device. Now, this is actually a very stupid thing they done. It's actually very simple to explain. Roblox was released back in 2014 on Android. As you can see from these video clips from Roblox itself, this is how it was. A very simple, cool, nice experience. Nothing actually really graphical intensive and very simple to run. You can see there was a very simple 3D graphics. The images were also very simple to run. You could actually run Roblox on anywhere, and that was pretty much it. As well, Roblox was released back in era of Android KitKat and was released on Android KitKat. It was still running on the really old OpenGL ES graphics. The OpenGL ES graphics is like the downgraded version of OpenGL, and the last time it was updated it was back in 2015, while OpenGL itself, the main one, the last time it was updated it was in 2017. So yeah, there is a bit of difference, and the OpenGL ES graphics, as you can understand, is the downgraded version of the OpenGL. And back in those days, it was fine to use OpenGL ES. In fact, every single phone in the world was simply using the OpenGL ES. So your dear old iPhone 4, your dear old Samsung S4, and all of those very old devices were using the very good old OpenGL graphics to play the Nosepat 8, Hungry Shark Evolution, and all of those very beautiful, popular old Android games, and it was fine for them. 2 years later, when it was Android Knockout, the Vulkan API was introduced and added inside Android Knockout, and the Vulkan API is a complete game changer. This is the normal OpenGL. As you can see, it's running on about 500 FPS, which is not really good, but yeah, it's kinda okay. And this is instead the Vulkan API. As you can see, it's almost like 4 times more powerful than the OpenGL API. Like not 4 times, like 3.5 times, something like this, but it's definitely much more powerful. And this is instead the OpenGL ES compared to the Vulkan API. As you can see, the OpenGL ES is using definitely much more CPU, and as you can see, it's getting barely 30 FPS. Like it gets on 30 FPS, yeah, it's quite bad, while the Vulkan is simply getting always stuck at 60 FPS. I see it could go even further than 60 FPS, maybe like 90 FPS or something like this. Yeah, the OpenGL ES literally struggles a lot. You can see even the animations are really laggy on OpenGL ES compared to the Vulkan. And yeah, it's a very bad situation for the OpenGL ES. So let me show you my phone. So this is my phone. This is Oppo Find X5. So this is the memory and the motherboard, the name, etc, etc. So you can see it has 3 gigabytes of memory frame, almost 3 gigabytes. This is a really good thing because Roblox is actually memory intensive. This is my CPU, Qualcomm Snapdragon 888. It's a little bit older, this CPU. It's like having an iPhone 11 in terms of performance. And of course, it supports Vulkan, the Vulkan API, for all those modern intensive games. The way Roblox, as I said and did explain, don't use Vulkan, even though today most of the Android users that are in the world support the Vulkan graphics API, but Roblox side Android didn't still pass it to it, and that's pretty much it. So the first game I would like you to show is Jailbreak. So here I am inside Roblox right now, and yeah, it looks like pretty good on the camera. As you can see, the graphics is set to max quality. You can see even here is all set to max. So I am flying now around the map. It's get around 30 FPS, which is bad. I did activate the performance stats. As you can see, is very CPU intensive, and this is all because Roblox is currently running not through Vulkan API but through the old OpenGL API, which is extremely CPU intensive, like not too much CPU intensive OpenGL, but it's definitely very CPU intensive. And Roblox, by the way, itself is already a very CPU intensive game, plus OpenGL is like putting gasoline on fire, something like this. So you can see the performance aren't really that bad, like still under 30 FPS, 30 FPS, 40. Like it's not completely a very bad experience, but it's definitely not very fluid, it's definitely very laggy. And as you can see, even the graphics doesn't have those very amazing shadows, lightning effects, reflections. It doesn't look even that good anyways. Yeah, it's definitely not very gorgeous to even watch. But anyways, let me show you now how it's going to run on a iPhone 14. So before passing to the iPhone, I want to explain you why it's running so good. So I don't know if you know, but there is the Metal API of Apple. The Metal API of Apple is simply like the Vulkan API, but simply Apple. Cannot explain. It's simply like the Metal API and the Vulkan are like 50-50. They are almost like the same API. Like they not are the same API, but I mean in terms of performance and of features and all of them, it's like having the Vulkan API. That's what I mean. You can guess that's why it's running so good. So Roblox was released on iOS in 2012. Yeah. The Metal API was introduced inside iOS 8 in 2014, where Roblox was released on the Android devices. Now, 6 years later, pretty much, I did forget to say that the 2018 year, it was the beta version, while the official one was released in 2018, Roblox did switch on the iOS devices from the OpenGL ES graphics to the Metal API. And as I said previously, Metal API is like Vulkan, so you can guess why it's so good. Number one, to make you understand how good is the Metal API, I don't know if you know, but if you ever seen one of those videos, there is this iPhone 15 and 16, something like this, and they are running Resident Evil Village. I'm not sure at max graphics, something like this, and this is a computer game, and they are running it gorgeously, very cool, good, let's say. Not perfect, of course, because it's a phone, but as you can see, it's running, and they are using their own Metal API. And same thing is on the MacBooks. They are too using the Metal API to run Resident Evil Village. As you can understand, the Metal API is definitely like the Vulkan version of Apple. Simply that. And as you understand, Roblox, by switching from 2018 from the OpenGL to the Metal API, is a complete game changer, and that's why it looks so gorgeous and so good and so smooth on the iPhones and the iOS devices, and overall on all of the Apple devices. So here I am on the iPhone 14 Plus. The graphics is set to max, as you can read here, and the graphics, of course, also here are set to max. As you can see, it's running really good already, and I have to say the experience is also very smooth already. I have to say, yeah, the graphics are definitely much way better on an iPhone than on Android, and this is because the iPhone, instead of running on the OpenGL or Vulkan API, it's actually running on the Metal API. Yeah, the experience is extremely smooth, just as you see on the camera. The graphics seems to me even better than compared to an Android phone. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I could just do a robbery, something like this, but yeah, I don't want to lose any more time. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, the experience is actually very fluid and very consistent, and that's pretty much it for the iPhone 14. And now let me show you the comparison, how it's going to run on my computer between OpenGL and Vulkan. These are my computer specs, as you can see here, so you don't ask me why Roblox is running so good on your computer. This is why. So these are the settings. You can see in the both sides I did set everything to the max graphics. I unfortunately, while I was editing, I did encounter a very serious lag. I don't know why. Most probably going just to leave you up to you to see all the whole part. So maybe beautiful background music and just chill, relax and just see the difference between OpenGL and Vulkan. Don't worry, it's always the same operating system, always the same computer, just recorded in different times. So as you've seen, the Vulkan API is simply better. It has a better graphics quality, as you can see, compared to the OpenGL. There's better shadows and stuff like this, and it's quite a more better than the OpenGL. By the way, as I said, Roblox is a CPU intensive game, so there is always big drops and down. But yeah, it's definitely the Vulkan API still beats the OpenGL. In real simple words, I want to say that Android is literally the last OS on this in the face of this planet that is using OpenGL only to run Roblox. Now I want to talk about the other operating system which graphics API they use. I'm going to do really fast. So Windows 11 use DirectX. You can choose to still to play through the Vulkan and through the OpenGL. On the Xbox you can only play through the DirectX. Inside the macOS you can play through the Metal API, Vulkan and the OpenGL. Inside iOS you can play only through Metal. Inside the Linux you can choose to play through Vulkan mainly and through OpenGL if you wish. Inside the PS4 and the PS5 you will be really surprised. They use their own custom graphical APIs. They are called GNM and GNMX. API with the X simply means it's a higher level priority, something like this, and can access the hardware much way better compared to the normal GNM. Something like this, the one with the X. And yeah, these are the APIs they use. And as you can understand, Android is literally the only last operating system on the face on the planet that runs Roblox through the OpenGL, and that's why it sucks so much. So now that you understand why Roblox sucks so much on Android, I'm now going to tell you something that will make you go even more in shock. Roblox on Android actually supports the Vulkan API, but not the way you may think it actually works. Let me explain you it really quickly. So Android is Linux. You'll be really surprised why it's Linux, but it's actually Linux. Now let me show you something inside my phone. So this is my kernel version, and if I go talk about this kernel version with my AI friend, it tells me this is a Linux kernel released back in 2023 of August. And if I talk even more, it tells me that Android is based on a Linux kernel. This means that Android is technically Linux. You have literally a Linux phone. By the way, if I talk even more and more, it tells me that it's like a Linux distribution, but it's not. It's pretty much like an extremely modified version of Linux, Android is. So it's technically like a Linux distribution, but not an actually Linux distribution. So it's like Linux, but not Linux because it's an extremely modified version of Linux. So we are technically using our Android devices are actually Linux devices, but they are not for because they are extremely modified. But the way their Android is actually Linux, and it's Android for these various reasons that you can read right here. So let me get to the point. So inside Linux, I did use Sober. That is the program that allows you to play Roblox on Linux. You can see right here it tells you that it's not an emulator and not a virtual machine. And if you scroll down and read it carefully, it tells you that it's using some runtime, something like this, for the Android version of Roblox, yeah, something like this. Most probably using some services, some apps, something like this, Android, but it works in a native way, not some emulated way, as it was detailed at the beginning. So 7 months ago, the program didn't had the automatic option, so you had to do it manually. As it says, it requires the Parity-664 code to run it. Now, for those who don't know, the Parity-664 is actually an 64-bit architecture for the computers. This means that it's actually made for the computers, like normal computers, like Windows laptops, for example, or Chromebooks. Most probably this version was made for Chromebooks. Inside the package there is three APK files. There is the V8 one, which is the 64-bit ARM version, for example, like the new modern standard, like for the Samsung Galaxy S16. The V7 version is the 32-bit version, for example, like for the very old Samsung Galaxy Tab S6. And the Parity 6 architecture, as I said, is the computer architecture made, for example, like for Chromebooks or simply normal computers. By the way, it's made for Chromebooks, I think. As well, Chromebooks use the Intel or AMD CPUs. So at the very end, Roblox maybe supports the Vulkan API on Android devices, but not official. So for example, the S24 Ultra, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10, they are running currently through OpenGL ES. While on the Chromebook, I believe it's the two running through OpenGL ES because they have like some emulation to support the ARM architecture, so they're running also with OpenGL ES. While if you use Linux plus a software, you can force Roblox to use the Vulkan API. So this means that Roblox technically supports the Vulkan API on Android devices, but not officially. And now I'm going to tell you soon the solution what to do with it. So this is the Roblox support page, the official page, link in the description. Here in the first name, put your name, for example, like Jacob or something like this. It's not required, but I recommend. Inside the email address, put your email address. Inside the confirm email address, put once again your email address, and that's pretty much it. Make sure to choose on what device you're having this problem on, Android phone or Android tablet. As a problem, as a issue, I recommend you to choose as a bug report because this could be actually seen as a bug already. And inside the text, the description of the issue, I'm now going to show you what I'm going to write. So this is what I did right. I believe this is very clear, compact, and very well explained. If you want, I leave this what I did right in the description of the video, so you simply copy and paste. Make sure to write at least an email so you don't get the continue button read out. There could be a puzzle, a very simple puzzle to solve. So then after you completed the puzzle, you will receive the email, and that's pretty much it. So you will receive an email like this, and you simply have just to wait. This is a generated email from the Roblox bot, something like this. This is not from a human, this is from a bot. I will simply give you some articles. Make sure to don't choose nothing, don't select nothing, else your request will be cancelled and is not going to be taken seriously. So make sure just to wait until the team already respond and see what it says. You can actually don't even watch the email anymore. The important you will send at least the email, and that's pretty much it. So if you did it, you see this, you can literally close everything, you're good to go. I will explain you why I want you to do this. So if 1000 of you that are watching this video going to take action and going to do what I did shown you, Roblox is going to receive 1000 requests to switch from the OpenGL ES to the Vulkan API for Android devices, and this is amazing. And if this video gets even more popular, and if you take action, they're going to receive even more requests, and they will be simply forced it to take action, and they going maybe in a few weeks, or in a few months, or in this year, I hope, switch from OpenGL ES to the Vulkan, or make so that OpenGL ES will be available for like devices that don't have the Vulkan API, and Vulkan for those that have the Vulkan API, something like this. And if this ever happens, this is going to be a successful breakthrough. I hope you will send the support request to the Roblox team so they will make the proper changes. And so finally the end users can play Roblox as it should be. These changes should be done already 9 years ago, or at least with the Apple devices, so the Ruby was Metal and Vulkan for both the sides, and this Ruby was an amazing update, but they didn't. So I hope you will send it now, or else the end users will have still to suffer a lot of pain, out of lag, lot of devices getting really hot very easily. Trust me, it's a pain. So please make sure to send that request. Roblox team will see a lot of these requests, and I believe they will make this change sooner or later, or else the end users will have still to suffer a lot. Anyways, thank you a lot for your really precious time. I hope you did learn something really valuable today, and I thank you a lot for your time, really a lot for watching. If you listen to this still here, thank you a lot for watching up to here. One last thing I would like you to do is to leave a like to this video, subscribe to my channel, activate the little beautiful bell, and make sure to leave a beautiful comment for some moral support. Anyways, thank you once again for your precious time. I wish you a really good day and a very good year, and I think it's time to say goodbye. So, goodbye.